many cars are in your fleet?
Well, whenever you say my fleet, that's the patrol side of it. We run about 24 cars. And the detectives division, we run 11 cars, and of course you got the administration that we use, and we've got our work crews. So with everything combined, around 60 cars that's used daily. And of course we've got some winter vehicles, and we've got some other vehicles that we use to haul things when we need to.
Yes. And what is your average per month on a patrol car?
3,000 to 4,000 miles.
And how much is maintenance running you on these cars?
I've already spent $100,000 this year. And usually it runs around about 120, 140, 150.
So why is it important to have newer vehicles that don't have so many miles that aren't from whatever?
First and foremost is safety and security. Whenever the public calls law enforcement, they expect you to show up. And if we're breaking down on the side of the road, and a patrol vehicle is not driven like a detective vehicle, where most detectives are just out following up on calls. Patrol side of it, sometimes they do have to run emergency traffic, and pursuits are very, very dangerous, and we usually are very limited on them now.
With this $800,000 that you're asking for, how many cars will that get you? What are the cars cost?
Around 15 or 16 cars are running probably around $35,000, $36,000, and outfitting a car is running anywhere from $6,000 to $9,000. The console to hold your radios, to hold your siren box, siren control panel, weapons mount, push bumper. That's really the people think that's more for the pursuit and pitting, but it's not. Actually, the bumpers are more for the deer. So you're around $48,000 for a car. This is not counting like the radars and things like that to go in there. It's just bare minimum.
This car here is mine. It's a 15. It's got 142,000 miles on it. A little bit of maintenance issues. We've got a lot more vehicles though that have a lot higher mileage. We've got another Charger. He's on the court side. He has almost 300,000 miles on his. Most of our vehicles they're just breaking down. They're getting old. They're getting worn out. High mileage on them. We've got quite a few deputies that they're having issues with their vehicles even starting in the morning. My sergeant just had it 2 days ago. He went out to start his vehicle and it wouldn't start. Having a vehicle with lower miles that when you get in it, it's going to start every morning. It means a lot to, I'd say, everyone that works for the department. It puts you between a rock and a hard place, sort of, when you have stuff like the suspension going out. And it's still drivable. It still gets you from point A to point B. And the Crown Vics, where they have higher miles, you're dropping your vehicle off to get worked on, and it may or may not get fixed. And you're going to a vehicle that is more unreliable than the vehicle you're currently driving. So normally when you're running code, you're running lights and sirens. You're running both of them. So we've got a couple vehicles that if you accidentally hit a button on their board, it'll shut the siren off, and you can restart the vehicle. It's not going to turn the siren back on. It just comes back on when it wants to. A lot of those vehicles also, you can change the siren tone with the horn. So when the siren's going off, you hit the horn, it cycles through, it lets people know, hey, I'm coming up on an intersection, something like that. I can go ahead and show you what it's supposed to do. Mine is working properly the last time I used it. And then so I can go back through what the vehicles aren't doing.
Trying to get some of the patrol cars so we can get down to the SROs, and I'm working on the detectives. I've still got cars on order from last year that I had received. If we can get it to where we're replacing 6 cars a year, that would get a shift a year pretty much on patrol. It is to rotate things up. Used to, you'd go out here and you could work on patrol and pretty much have a notebook. Now you have so much equipment that you've got to carry with you that a Dodge Charger trunk is very small. You don't have a lot of room in there. to haul the equipment that you need, and the SUVs has got a little bit more room. But Hawkins County is also a rural county that we do need the all-wheel drive to be able to just get up in a lot of the driveways here.
Some of the spots that we have to go, these cars where they sit so low, they don't necessarily get up it really easy. Sometimes you can't even get up it at all. The residents we're driving past right now, I was scraping pretty much the bottom of the car the whole way up, and I couldn't leave the car in the road to walk up the driveway because there's no pull-offs, and that ends up being the case in a lot of these rural areas. You're not really able to leave the car.
You just have to make sure that the deputies has got good working vehicles, and the public wants you to be able to respond to the calls.
And you were also doing some mileage numbers of the commission when you originally.
Yeah, just looking at it, I mean, I see a lot of 200,000s. I see a couple of 300,000s. I've got 5 or 6 cars. No, I've got more than that. I've got about 9 cars that the 08s that the odometer don't even work no more. I've only got, the sheriff's office only has about 7 cars that's under 50,000 miles. And the rest of them are up in 100, 150, 200, 250,000 mile range.